Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another video, and today, oh boy, this has been a rant long coming, and it's about time I made it. And this rant is going to be about the quote-unquote diversity changes in comic books, and, well, not really comic books, but typically it is mostly comic books and just movies involved with comic books, because I don't really know many other times that this happens, because usually people have more creativity, but in the comic book world, since they like to rehash everything so many times, they just say, oh, well, we want to have some diversity, let's just flip someone's race or sex, that'll be fun. Yeah, because the comic book writers can be super lazy sometimes. And this is right on the heels of the Flash Annual 3 and the Flash issue 30 and all that, where they're bringing back Wally West, which I was really excited for until I realized that they're like completely effing up his character, and then after that I'm like, ugh. And no, this isn't just because of Wally West. This has been happening a lot recently. It seems like ever since, well, I guess I can't really pin it to a year, but I know since the New 52 started, and, well, I guess really in the mid to late 2000s, this started being a lot of thing. Everyone's like, oh, we want more diversity in our stuff because it's all a bunch of white people, which, okay, look, there are a bunch of white characters in comic books because they were made when mostly white writers were writing them in, the early 1900s, like 1940, 50, 60, 70s, and I guess no one else just had the idea to make a lot of black characters. I don't know. But now people are like, we want some black characters, we want diversity, blah, blah, blah. So now companies are just saying, oh, well, let's just take a popular character, flip their race, and say, yeah, there we go. No, you can't freaking do that, DC or Marvel or just any of you. It's stupid. And here's why, okay? I mean, there's so many directions I could go, and there's probably going to be a lot I miss. So feel free in the comments below to talk about this, because I hear a lot of comic book fans discussing this. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one that realizes it. But I feel like that a video needs to be made. Okay, so first off, when you want diversity, it doesn't mean that you take the lazy cop-out route and just change someone else's character. No, I find that completely disrespectful to not only the fans, but the creators and just everything. You can't just change a character's race because, look, as much as we like to say race doesn't matter, it does, to an extent. That's not to say that any race is better than anyone else, but that background does affect you. I mean, to an extent, it does. I don't think we can ignore that. Same with being a guy or a girl. Look, it's going to change how you are. It just is. It's same with your sexual preference, whatever. It can go for anything. You guys get what I'm saying. So to just flip a character's race from someone that we already know it's just a middle finger, because not only did they switch the Flash's race, which I'm focusing on the Flash because that's the hot topic, but there's plenty of others that we can discuss. But going back to DC's recent Flash thing, if you actually go and look at the preview for Flash Annual 3, not only is Wally West half black and half white, so he's black basically. So not only is he, dark-skinned, but he's also extremely racially profiled. Like, he's got the hoodie on, he's performing crimes in an alleyway, he's getting arrested by the cops. I mean, come on, really? Is this the kind of diversity people want? And yeah, look, I know it's a preview, and by the time this video comes out, that might actually be something better or in better context or whatever. I know that Wally West is supposed to be angry at Barry Allen or whatever, but come on, really? Just graffiti, and that's just extremely racist. I'm sorry. It just is. And it's just, I just don't understand. I guess here, this is leading in my next point. If people want diversity, why don't you just make new characters? Just make a new character. Use your brain, be creative, make new characters. Now, his name escapes me at the moment, but it's Dwayne something or another. I can't remember his last name, but he's the guy that was behind the Milestone Comics sort of movement. He did Static Shock, he did Icon, he did Rocket, he did a lot of other characters, and they were all black. And oh, get this, they were not race changes. They were new characters, and they were all black. So it's not like there's just no black characters, because I mean, look at this. Recently DC announced some like multiverse comic book thing having to do with I think all the DC characters, but it featured a black Superman, which again, obviously they're just doing that for headlines. I mean, that's all any of this is. It's just for headlines, people. It's the same thing that they did with Simon Baz as the Green Lantern, the Muslim Green Lantern, and then several months later he's completely dropped and he's doing absolutely nothing. It was just to get attention. That's really all any of this is. It's just to get attention. So going back on my point, I just don't understand why they don't use those characters. Yes, Static Shock was in a New 52 book and it failed, but you know what you do? You get a new writer and then you make people like the book again. Use Icon. Look, if you want to use a black Superman, that's Icon. That's Icon. Use him. Don't make a new character that's supposed to be just a mirrored Superman. When I think about characters and I think about all their different whatever, I always come back to the main characters. I always think of the original Batman, the original Superman, the original Green Lantern, and all that. It applies to everything, right? The original Spider-Man. It goes on and on. When you do this race change nonsense, all it is just a black version of another character, and that's all anyone ever sees it as. If you really want to do this well with this diversity, one, you got to have your heart in the right place, because clearly these people are just doing it for attention, and half the time they're just written stereotypically, or they're just thrown in there for attention. That's all it ever is. So you got to do that, and also just use the original characters of different races, and then people like those more, like Static Shock. I mean, everyone loved that cartoon. Everybody. So why not just use him? He's popular. Use Icon. Use all these other characters. It blows my mind. We have all these different racially characters. They don't use them. Never. They never freaking use them. And then they complain, oh, diversity. We don't have any black characters. Let's switch someone's race. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. And, it's Simon Baz, for example, just to clarify, I don't hate that. I actually think that's not a bad idea, because with Green Lanterns, there's a lot of Green Lanterns, and it's not like they were saying, oh, this is a Muslim Hal Jordan. No, it was a separate character. That's how you do it right. And Green Lantern's one of those characters you can really do that with, because there's so many of them throughout the galaxy. But when you try and do it with an existing character, it just usually doesn't work. I mean, the only instance I can think of where that works is like, a lot of people seem to like Miles Morales as Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. Personally, I just think it's dumb that they never brought back Peter Parker in that universe, because that's a really good comic book, at least from what I read. And yeah, but I mean, at least they're not saying this is Peter Parker. They're saying this is a different character. Now, personally, I would have rather had Miles Morales become someone else. I think it's awfully convenient that he gets bit by a radioactive spider too, but whatever. Anyway, point being, if you want diversity, make diverse characters. Don't just switch stuff around. It's just ridiculous. It's really dumb. It's just dumb. And again, with the Flash, it is pretty much confirmed to be, this is just headlines, because look at the sales for the Flash comic. They've been horrible, because the book's terrible. So this is like the last-ditch effort to get people to read the book. I mean, that's really all it is. I don't get why they can't just use the characters that are racially different and then make new ones. Is it so hard? Is it? Really? I can't see how it's that hard, but whatever. And here's another thing. And this is quite the kicker right here. And this is what a lot of people say. Why is it that when we ever see these diversity things and these claims and blah, 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 and the companies make these diverse changes, that it's always a white character to a black character? What kind of diversity is that, DC? Why is it always a black character? Well, not just DC, my bad. Any company, any comic book company, really. Why is it only black characters? Is white and black the only two races in the world? Because I really don't think so. And, like Simon Baz, a Muslim character. Woo woo. DC was like, oh yeah, we got the first Muslim superhero, blah, blah, blah. And you see exactly what that was. Just a front. Just a front. It's just the upper people saying, we want a Muslim character. With Wally West, it's confirmed that the company said, we want a black change to Wally West. And they're like, okay, whatever. They're just doing it for headlines. So, it's really sad. And, again, like I said, why is it only black characters? Why? Why can't it be Asian? Why can't it be Spanish? Anything but black. It's only black. I don't get that either. It's like the other races don't exist, And this problem isn't just with race change. There's been several instances where they've changed the sex of a character for no reason whatsoever. Again, I think that's completely stupid. I can think of a few instances. Like there was a character they changed in the Man of Steel, did absolutely nothing. Woohoo! You just did that for attention, DC. Good job. Pat yourselves on the back. And then the Atom in the New 52 changed to a female. Great, cool. She sucks. Good job, DC. And the list goes on. And this also takes place with the sex of a character, sexual preference. My bad. Sexual preference is that they will just change the sex of the sexual preference of a character, and then that'll be it. They'll be done. They'll be like, "Yep, character's gay." That's it. You can't. Again, like I said, same with race. That stuff is really important to a character. You can't just flip someone's sexual preference or race and just call it a day and say they're the same character. You can't. Because it's a lot different. To be gay and to be a different race, it changes your life. You can't just say, oh, yeah, they're the exact same. You can't. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to make them flamboyant or something like that. No. But it has to have some sort of reason or some sort of merit. It's not just to make them gay, like, the Green Lantern in the New 52. What's his name? Alan Scott? Yeah. They just did that for, one scene. I'm pretty sure, and that's it. Again, good job. Got that diversity in there. I'm sure everyone's reading your comic because they had one scene of two guys kissing. Good job. Yeah, that's, again, I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I think I need to emphasize this because I'm sure some of you in the comment section who don't know me or just don't really get what I'm saying are going to be all, oh, well, you're just sexist, you're just racist, blah, 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 diversity. You just need to read in between the lines, people, or just listen to what I'm saying. It's not that I hate the fact that there's black characters or anything, or hate the fact that there's gay characters. I just wish they were their own thing. Okay, New Teen Titans for the New 52. Sucks balls. That book's horrible. But they made a new character that's gay. At least I can give them credit for that. And, God, there's other instances. I'm just blanking at the moment. A good way to do a gay character, though, is Static Shock, again, has two big diversities. One, having the lead being a black superhero. And two, his best friend Richie is gay. But again, it's not a headline thing. It's just there. Which I think that's how you do it. It's not supposed to be the center of attention. Hey, look, guys, we've got a gay character in our book. Come read it. It's just part of the character, and it's not supposed to be some headline thing. So yeah, I think that if they really want to do this sort of thing, just make your own freaking character. Because let's take to the movies, okay? Everybody loved Captain America 2, right? And Falcon was a really cool character. And he was black. And guess what? I think he was always black. I'm actually not sure on that. But he was cool. And yeah, there you go. Black character in a movie. Is it really so hard to do? Fox apparently can't do that because they changed the race of the Human Torch, and yet the Invisible Woman is still white. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then, some people will be like, well, you didn't talk about Bane's change in The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, again, that was kind of dumb, honestly. I like Bane as being a Spanish guy, personally. I think that's a really cool part of his character. And Christopher Nolan, I'd say the reason he did that is just because he likes British actors so much, because he was British. Like, everyone in his movies are British. But yeah, I personally didn't like that either. I wish they would have made him Hispanic. So it holds for everything, people. I don't like race change and stuff like that because they need to be their own character. It's just for the wrong reasons, really. And it's never executed right, more than likely. Never executed right. So anyway, this rant has went on for a really, really long time. And I hope I kept you guys entertained throughout. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on this. And thumbs up if you liked, and subscribe for more rants or just stuff like this about comic books and whatnot. And I will catch you guys later.